There are a lot of positive words that you could use to describe John Thrasher. I would pick principled. What you see is what you get. He is probably the most ethical man next to my father that I have ever met in my entire life. I met John Thrasher over 45 years ago. Our sons are the same age, and they signed up for YMCA soccer. John really cared about his constituents, and he cared about the people in the district and the state of Florida. And he had what he always referred to as the fire in the belly. You can pass the most historic legislation in Tallahassee. You can be in the history books. But if you don't take care of the folks back home, their driver's license and their problems, they won't send you back to Tallahassee. I learned there that the high road is the hard road, but it really separates you from everybody else. And that's one of the things I learned about politics from John.
John and I met when we were 19, and we kept going out every night, and it just grew to be the whole summer. And by the end of the summer, we were committed. And he told me he would love me more than anyone else ever would. And when he said that, I'm like, okay, you're my guy. To start with, John brought me into his life by being very honest and very truthful about just about anything we talk about. He's the love of my life. I know you can tell that, but he's my best friend, and I don't know, sometimes I can almost cry talking about him. It would be tears of joy for sure. I mean, I can get mad at him too, okay? I mean, really, I can. And I tell him so, you know? I mean, when he told me he wanted to run for the Senate, I said, over my dead body. Well, he ran for the Senate, but I didn't die. I helped him. So, you know, I try to be as good as I can as far as a wife and a mother, but he makes it very easy. And he's very generous and very humble. He's a humble man, he is. I love hearing what you have to say about your father. And I guess the question would be, who is John Thrasher?
Well, first and foremost, he's a man of faith.
Yes.
And he loves his family so much, and he really pours into us and always has since we were small kids, even in his busiest times. Yeah, Dad's an amazing role model for me, for my husband, for my boys.
He's been always there for all of us, and no matter if he was out of town or not there, he would write me a note or send us a message somehow, and just very thoughtful and always very generous.
Julie, when one of his first elections, it reminds me of something that was so sweet and cute that happened with you and your dad.
Well, when he first ran for school board, I was just 9 years old.
That's it. That's right. You were young, wasn't you?
And people kept stealing the signs out of our yard.
Yeah, because of the skateboard name.
Right, because of Thrasher and the skateboard and the popularity there.
Yeah.
And I took it very personal, and I didn't like it at all, so I took matters into my own hands and created a sign that said, "Stop stealing my dad's signs," and put it in our front yard.
And it was so sweet and so cute, and all of our neighbors loved it.
Yeah. It's been fun to watch him fulfill his life with these wonderful positions that he's held and the impact that he's had on all kinds of people, from school board to the House of Representatives to the Senate.
But who would have thought at the age 70 he would get his dream job? And I think he would have done it for free. He would just love the position.
Yes.
And love the people. And we have a lot of great memories over the years while y'all were there.
We really do. We do.
It
We
was
had
a
a lot
blessing.
of good times.
What's my favorite memory of John? Well, two come to mind. One is the groundbreaking in the swamp in northern Clay County for the roadway. The other was an honor, and that was the invitation to his installation as Speaker of the House. But one thing I think that was particular about John and that made him so successful, he cared about the people back home, and he maintained friendships. And so when challenging legislation was coming up or being worked, or he was trying to handle a difficult situation, he would reach out and touch base with his friends back home, Clay County, Northeast Florida, and take in their suggestions, comments, recommendations.
Didn't have the opportunity to serve with John, but certainly knowing his history, he's the type of person throughout his life has been a servant. He approached me and introduced himself and told me, is there anything I can do to help you? Call on me if I can. He was the president of FSU at the time. And so that had a lasting impression. So his character, his dignity, his respect, his history for what he has done is impactful as a mentor to many, and it was to me. And so from there, I've always tried to mentor the underclassmen, and I learned that from his opportunity to say you can never give enough of yourself to underclassmen to make sure they're successful.
John Thrasher had a role in my political career in that he showed me what was possible being from Clay County on a statewide platform. John Thrasher as a legislator is interesting. I didn't get a chance to serve with John. He's obviously been retired by the time I've been into the legislature. But as the second Republican speaker, he really charted a course for the legislature, specifically in the Florida House, that lives on to this day, both in terms of the culture of the institution and also just the physical space. When you walk into the House of Representatives, you see those beautiful murals. They're part of John Thrasher's vision to have a House chamber that was truly representative of the great state that we are. His legacy lives on far beyond just the portrait that's on the wall. It really is embedded into the DNA of the institution. One of the favorite memories I have personally of John is actually goes way back to the time. Most people don't remember, but John did a stint on the county commission, and I was a young prosecutor, appeared in front of the county commission, 20-something years old, scared out of my mind. And John was so kind to me during that experience that it left a permanent kind of image in my mind. I haven't forgotten it.
Yes, I'm at the United States Capitol, but I'm only here because of John Thrasher. It was in 1999 where John Thrasher said, "Bean, you got a shot at the Florida legislature." A Republican had never won the seat that I had been, but John Thrasher said, "Here's your pathway." And so I always will be grateful. John, President Thrasher, we called him the Lion of the Senate. He was great. I got to serve with him in the Florida Senate. It was a great move. But what you have done with FSU, people don't realize. I know they only look at the football team, but if you look at the academics, you look at the record of what they're producing and the talent of their graduating, the scientists, the doctors, and just what a difference they're making on the world. That's you, President Thrasher. So I just salute you, John Thrasher, what an impact you have made, not just on Clay County, North Florida, but these United States, my friend. So I bring you greetings from the Capitol because of, and only but for, Speaker, President John Thrasher. Go get him, my friend.
We all knew that the Dad had he had a greater purpose. He had a cause that was for the community. He's a statesman, true and true. We were very involved. The whole family was involved in Dad's campaigns. Mother, my sisters, both Jennifer and Julie, and of course I was. But we would go door to door. We would talk to people, handshake. We would go to churches. We would participate in community events. But certainly, by far, I built every single one of his signs during pretty much his political career. It's kind of a funny story. Apparently, Dad and Governor Jeb Bush at the time were at a restaurant, I believe in the lounge, and they had quite some time to wait for a party, that they had a very important meeting. But they came up with the tax education deal on basically a cocktail napkin. And in about 15, 20 minutes, they had the details already planned out. Papa is now, we call him Papa, and that's what the grandkids call him. He and my mother are so proud to have 8 grandchildren. They love Papa. Papa messes with them, plays boxing with them, and messes around. He's very warm-hearted and very, very encouraging and positive. Encourages them to do very well in school. But he's just an awesome grandfather and father.